Hi, boys and girls, and welcome to Lesson 28, Day 5. So today, let's look at the problem. We are going to be comparing. It says compare. Which circle is divided into thirds? Explain. Okay, so be thinking which one you would choose. Your circle A, is that divided into thirds? Or B, is it divided into thirds? Okay, this is something we can just have a conversation about, just to think about, to look and think of everything we've learned so far about breaking things into thirds, how we did it with the rectangle the other day. Okay, think of it if it was a pizza, which one is broken into thirds? Let me get my tools out. See what we would think here. Okay, so you either get to choose circle A, circle B. Compare them. Now, I know if I was having a pizza, I would pick circle A. Okay, I say that because when I look at circle A, I can see that it has been broken, and it seems as that each one of the thirds, so there's 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3, they seem equal. So it's in 3 equal parts. Maybe one friend wanted pepperoni, one friend wanted cheese, one friend wanted sausage. We would all get the same size slices of pizza because it is broken into equal thirds. Now, circle B is in 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. But I don't think they're equal parts. So you can compare that maybe I would choose circle A because it's equal thirds, because B, there's 3 parts, but it's not equal. If you see the side parts over here, I'm going to try to trace them the very best I can. So like this slice over here. Okay, if I were to fold that over on top of this other middle section, I could probably tell it's a lot smaller. I don't get as much. It's not equally divided, each third of the shape. So yes, they're both broken into thirds, but the one that I would have probably choose is A, because it is divided into equal thirds. Okay, let me erase my little pizza slices, or whatever you thought of them as. Maybe you thought of it as a big giant donut you were sharing with a friend. All right, let's look at our next slide. Get my tools out of the way. We have a fun little challenge today, so get ready to think. Day 5 continued. Explain. Let's look at our problem. Carlo and Abe buy the same sandwich. Carlo's sandwich is cut in thirds. Okay. Abe's sandwich is cut in fourths. Which sandwich has smaller pieces? Explain. So first we should be thinking, what's the problem about? Well, it's about a sandwich. And there's 2 boys in our problem, Carlo and Abe. And I already did a little work. I went ahead and made what I kind of could picture as 2 sandwiches. I gave them each like a square sandwich. There's Carlo's and Abe's. So at home, if you want to grab a sheet of paper and do the same thing, I kind of just stopped and jotted my thinking so I could kind of see and decide what the answer should be. Because what is the problem asking? Which sandwich has smaller pieces? It's probably important to remember how each of their sandwiches is cut. So if we look, Carlo's sandwich is cut in thirds. Maybe I'll go ahead and do Carlo's sandwich. So let me get my tools ready. Here I go with my thirds again. I'm going to try my best. Okay, maybe I'll try it this way this time. Okay, so he has a sandwich and he's going to cut it in thirds. So there should be about 3 equal parts there. Oh, I'm doing a little better this time. Thirds. 1/3, 1/3 there. So if you're doing this with me at home, your sandwich for Carlo should kind of look like mine. You could have also maybe divided it down this way into thirds, or however you chose to represent thirds. All right, let's look back at the problem because I still have Abe, his sandwich, and how he cut it. Let's go back and reread. Abe's sandwich is cut in fourths. Okay, so we're thinking fourths. How many parts would I need to cut that into? Go ahead at home if you're doing it with me. Try to cut Abe's sandwich in fourths. Helpful thing I'm thinking is it would be helpful if you cut it similar so you could see how the parts kind of are different in size. Because what are we trying to solve? Which sandwich has smaller pieces? So I'm going to kind of keep the same way I cut Carlo's. I'm going to do Abe's, but in fourths. I don't know about you, but I think halves and fourths are easy because I know I can take Abe's sandwich and cut it in half, and then I can do that again here. Let me get my other half. There's halves. Now I need fourths, so I'm going to take those halves and cut them once again. Ooh, aha. It's a nice little trick I learned here. Here we go. So now I have fourths on Abe's sandwich. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4 parts. So now I can see Carlo and Abe. Sometimes it's hard to just be able to solve this problem and thinking of it in your brain. I like to stop and jot my thinking. I can see both of the guys' sandwiches now. And now let's see if we can answer our question. Which sandwich has smaller pieces? So Carlo, Abe. Carlos. I'm thinking Abe has the smaller pieces because when I see it side by side, I can tell those pieces look smaller than each one of Carlos. But also, I'm learning that I cut this sandwich into 4 pieces, and I only had to cut Carlos into 3 pieces, meaning Abe's pieces have to be smaller because I cut the sandwich more times. That's kind of my thinking. If you're doing this at home as well, please share it on the classroom if you can, or you can share it in your classroom Google Meets if you have it drawn out. We would love to hear your thinking. But great job this week on halves, thirds, and fourths. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye.